Hello, writers. You may have seen our first video on summarizing nonfiction using the SAAC method, and it was brought to my attention that we do a lot of modeling writing with science or animals types texts, but what about historical nonfiction? Things we may see in a social studies or a history class. Well, we need to know how to write about those too, and it does feel a little bit different. So I wanted to take some time and practice one of those. So our article today is going to be the Civil Rights Act, a Law for Fairness. Now, I will put a copy of the text in the description below, but for now, I want to read it to you, and hopefully you have a copy. You may read it along with me. The Civil Rights Act, a Law for Fairness. The Civil Rights Act was a very important law passed in 1964. It helped make sure everyone in the United States was treated fairly, no matter their race, skin color, religion, or where they came from. This law changed many things to help the country become more equal. Let's look at three big changes it made. Before this law, some public places like restaurants, parks, and theaters didn't allow everyone to use them. The Civil Rights Act made it illegal to keep people out of these places just because of their race. Now, everyone has the right to enjoy public spaces. At one time, many schools and public places were separated for white people and black people. This was called segregation, and it was unfair. The Civil Rights Act required schools and other public facilities to be integrated, which means everyone could go to the same schools and use the same places, no matter their race. The law also made it illegal for employers to treat workers unfairly or refuse to hire someone because of their race, skin color, religion, or gender. This helped more people get jobs they deserved and be treated equally at work. The Civil Rights Act was a huge step toward making life fairer for everyone in the United States. It reminds us that treating everyone with respect and kindness is the right thing to do. So, as a reminder, the SAAC really has the most to do with the initial topic sentence that we're going to be writing for our summary. Because when you write a summary, it's going to be a paragraph, you're going to have your topic sentence, you're going to have 3 to 5 supporting details, and you're going to have a wrap-up sentence. The SAAC helps make sure that we get started correctly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to state it, which means we're going to name the article and the type of writing it was, and it may not be an article, it could be a textbook, it could be a newspaper, just whatever it is. Next, we assign it. We use the author's name or the publication. For this one, I just wrote this one myself. A is action. Choose a verb like explains or tells, informs, educates, things like that. C, complete the sentence. Use your main topic, and that's the main idea. We're not going to tell everything. We're just giving an idea of what our entire paragraph is going to be about because we're writing a summary. So let's practice that. We still have our article, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to state it. Name of the article. So the name of the article is the Civil Rights Act, a Law for Fairness. And that tells the name of the article. We also want to put the type of writing. Well, it's an article. Assign it, use the author's name. And again, for this video, I just used my own at the risk of pulling somebody else's and having a copyright. And action is informs, because that's what I tried to do. I was trying to inform you about the Civil Rights Act. And what was I informing you? I was informing you about ways the Civil Rights Act helped bring about fairness and equality. And that's what this entire article was about. And we can get most of this from this first paragraph. Usually the first paragraph of anything you read is going to give you all this information you need. So then we're going to put all this together to do a topic sentence. In the article, the Civil Rights Act, a law for fairness. We're going to put that in quotation marks since it's the title. Mr. Wolf informs, see there's our verb right here, informs us about ways the Civil Rights Act helped bring about fairness and equality. And as you see, I just took every single piece of this and we made it the topic sentence. At this point, we need to find some evidence. We're saying this is what the entire article is about, so we're going to have to use the rest of our paper to find that. Now, usually when they write, you have your first paragraph, which gives the topic, and then you have the next paragraph. Usually each paragraph is going to give a different supporting detail. So as we look at this first one, it says some public places didn't allow everyone to use them, and the Civil Rights Act made it illegal to keep people out of these places just because of their race. So what that says is we cannot do, there's no discrimination in public places. That's what that one stated. And we know that it says it made it illegal to keep people out. So that's what the point of no discrimination was. It made it illegal to ban people. And it tells us restaurants, parks, and theaters because of their race. And so that's what this means. Next, we're going to go to our next paragraph. It tells us what the problem was, and then it says that we required schools and other facilities to be integrated. So the solution was integration. Now, everyone may not understand what that means, so we're going to explain it. That means we stopped segregation of schools and other public places because of race. So again, we always want to explain. We just don't want to have a 1 or 2 or 3 word piece of evidence. We want to make sure we explain it. And that integration we get here. Next, we're going to do the third one. And the third one says that the law, let me highlight that for us. Made it illegal for employers to treat workers unfairly. So the opposite of unfair would be fair. So the evidence would be the fair treatment in jobs. So our evidence is going to be fair treatment in jobs. And what does that mean? It means it's illegal to mistreat or refuse to hire someone because of their race. And we're going to use all of this right here. Because of their race, skin color, religion, or gender. All right, fix that right there. So We've given our 3 pieces of evidence and we've explained each piece of it. That's a key thing for us to do. Next, we should have something like this. And of course, we already have the top part filled out because we have our SAAC with our topic sentence, we have our evidence, and we have our explanations. So now that we have our graphic organizer filled out, we're going to take all this information and we're going to write a paragraph. Now, if you're typing this, this is really easy. You can just take this entire topic sentence, we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it. Even if you're not typing it, you're still going to copy it, and you're still going to paste it. And next, we're going to take each of these evidences, and we're going to make, with the explanation, and we're going to make them the next thing we write about. So we'll start with the very first one. One way the Civil Rights Act, because that's what this whole thing is about, brought about fairness and equality was by saying there could be no discrimination in public places. And if you notice, we literally just wrote that very first ones. This means it is, and we're going to copy the same thing again, illegal to ban people from restaurants, parks, and theaters because of their race. And again, if you notice, we're just taking everything we put and we're turning it into sentences. Another way was through integration. Because it worked, and I'm going to use because this time. It didn't always have to be 2 separate sentences. Because it worked to, what did it work to do? Stop segregation of schools and other public places because of race. Now, look at this third one. Think about for a second, how would you put that in a paragraph? It's our last piece of evidence. So what might be a good word to use? Probably finally. Finally, it helped to bring about fairness and equality. We always want to bring it back to what the act did by demanding fair treatment at jobs. The act made it illegal. We're going to copy our same evidence to mistreat or refuse to hire someone because of their race, skin color, religion, or gender. Now you might think you're done. You're really not quite done. We need to do one more sentence that just kind of wraps this whole thing up. This is going to make our writing complete. And a real simple way to do this, and you can make them, your teacher may work with you to make it a little bit more in depth, but this is a good basic wrap up. These are some of the ways the Civil Rights Act helped bring about fairness and equality. And that wraps our whole thing up. So again, the whole idea is you're going to read your article, which again, we have our article. We're going to do our topic sentence, which we get from our first paragraph usually. We're going to fill out our evidence and our explanations, and we're going to get that from the body. And then we're going to use all of that we write down to write a paragraph. And this completely summarizes historical piece of writing. I hope this helps. Until next time, happy reading and writing.